Well, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's gathered here together today for the Sabbath conference call. And this is Barbara serving as your host today. Well, we're right now at September 29, and this is a world event that happened over a week ago, September 17, 2025, that Pope Leo XIV announced and said that we must rest on Holy Saturday. It's the seal of God. So that was a big surprise to us that maybe we, like I said before, I came out of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and many of us have come out of Saturday keeping churches, and we have found out about a different Sabbath, the one on a different calendar. It's not on a Roman calendar. So what's going on in this day and age that we're living in? And I hope that we'll have some discussion also with our fellowship group here today. But, okay, so Pope Leo XIV says we must rest on Holy Saturday, and he said it's the seal of God. Well, maybe you remember this happened in 2018, Pope Francis. The Catholic Church claims Seventh-day Adventists keep the true Sabbath, the Sabbath day of rest. And why is Pope Francis promoting a day of rest? And that was just a few years ago now. The Catholic Church admits Seventh-day Adventists are keeping the true Sabbath. So here's some of the quotes. If we consulted the Bible only, we should still have to keep the holy, the Sabbath day, that is Saturday, with the Jews instead of Sunday. And also, Sunday is a Catholic institution and can be defended only on Catholic principles. So this is saying Saturday, follow the Jews, and Sunday is a Catholic thing. So why are the popes promoting Saturday as a day of rest? This is something new in our generations that has never happened before. The Catholic Church boasts that they created Sunday as a day of worship and that they changed the Sabbath of the Bible to Sunday. Well, we did a little video on this a while back about Pope Francis, and this was a 60-minute interview that was done in 2018. And these are some of his quotes. On the seventh day, he rested. What the Jews followed and still observe was to consider the Sabbath as holy. On Saturday, you rest. One day of the week. That's the least. That's the least we can do out of gratitude and to worship God. So to spend time with families, to play. And we are not machines. And also, as you know, a lot of this is to promote the environmental, the green laws and all that, to be shutting everything down and resting everything on Sunday. But now they're also saying that Saturday is a holy day of rest. And if many of you have watched some of these videos, we've shown that the Jews everybody's following the Jews, and they're keeping Saturday. And we know that that was changed in 321 AD and then by the Gregorian calendar in 1582. So what we have here is a double counterfeit. So I'm just going to open up our floor today here for our discussion. For those of you that are here, just kind of forget that the recording is on. And we would just like to have a discussion about these popes saying that Saturday is a Sabbath and Sunday is a Sabbath, and what's happening in our world and what's happening to us and everybody here. So we can go ahead, and Brother Pete, maybe you're the first one with a comment today.
I haven't been tracking this very well, but it seems like it feels like the pressure on the Catholic Church, as apparently because of information being available. That's the biggest trick, with internet and things like that, and the printing press. It seems like that would have done it, but with the internet and all that transpires, that Catholics and others are being confronted with this confusion over Sunday and Saturday, even more so over the true Sabbath, the lunar Sabbath. But it's very interesting to see that they are struggling with this. It looks to me like they're making, I'll call it baby steps, to try to switch back. Switch back to Saturday, to what the Jews call the Sabbath.
Wow, that's really interesting, to maybe switch back. That's a really interesting thought. And we just recently did a video about the Jews keeping the calendar fraud, that they have known all along that the Sabbath was on a Creator's calendar originally, and they allowed it to be changed. Okay, Amika?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry I haven't been able to join. I've been busy. But, yeah, I think this is very interesting. I think it aligns with what is happening in our society today. And I think that that reminds me about what Yeshua said in Matthew 24, verse 4. And it says, and Yeshua answered to them and said, "Take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many, and you will hear rumors of war. If you hear wars and rumors of war, see that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So, and I think that this aligns with what we're seeing, nation going against nation. So I think, the word of Yahweh must come to surely pass. So I think this is another deception to bring a one religion order. I believe that's what's going to happen, to deceive so many in the church. That's just my take on this.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it's steps to go to the one world order, and they're going to have days of worship, I believe. Maybe Saturday or Sunday will be acceptable, and they're going to enforce it, I believe. Well, I like what Brother Pete said, too, is that might be baby steps back to the Jewish Sabbath, which would be on a Gregorian calendar, which is a Roman calendar. And we have these popes from Rome saying that Saturday is a holy day now. And I like what you said about this is another deception. And he said not to let anyone deceive us. Okay, Ellie, go ahead.
I kind of like what Amika said, and Pete, actually, and I think it could be either one or the other. I hadn't heard this comment. So, I don't stay in what the loop is doing, the world is doing, especially things like that with the Pope. But, I was a Sunday keeper my whole life, and then I was a Saturday keeper for many years, and now I'm not either one of those. But I think Amika might hit it on the nail on the head that, there's so much deception going on. Maybe they're trying to feel out how many people actually would keep a Saturday versus keep a Sunday. And, right now in society, I think Sunday's the big day, but I think Saturday is following suit right behind. And so, we really don't know what they're going to do. They are going to pick a day, and we all thought it would be Sunday, but who knows? Maybe Pete is right. Maybe they'll switch back and they'll say Saturday's the day. Because that's the day that the Jews have been keeping for years. It wasn't at the time of Yeshua. When he was on the earth, he kept his own calendar. But that's when the Jews were forced to keep that when I think it was Constantine came in and, started. They started to change things back then. They changed the calendar. They started to change the day, and all the Jews were being persecuted. And so who knows if they'll go back to a Saturday or not, but it's very interesting. I like Amika's comment. It could be just a whole deception of they're trying to find out what the world is thinking about this. And, because, many of the churches have gone back to the mother church, even though most people don't realize that. But most of the so-called Protestant churches, I guess you call them, have gone back to the mother church. And, so they're going to follow whatever Rome does in the end. So whatever Rome decides, most of these mother churches that have fallen into sync with Rome will do what Rome wants. And so that's my comment, Barbie. I don't really have any other comment to make about it, except it's rather confusing why he would come out and say that, unless he's trying to test things, see how it affects people and what comments people would make.
Right, yeah. Well, very good, Ellie. And yeah, I think it is about a deception and to make people question or say, well, it's okay, either day, just pick any day and that can be your day. But yeah, you're right. The word Catholic means universal, and since Vatican II in 1962, the Catholic Church has been gathering all the churches underneath her and changing their way of worship, changing their leadership, and that's been their goal. And now they have even got the Lutheran Church coming back underneath their umbrella, and that happened in 1994, that they all joined back underneath the Catholic umbrella. Okay, Abby?
Yeah, I think I agree with everyone. What I hear and see is I think his heart is not really true. I think he's just trying to find out because they are confronted with all the things that are going on. It's open knowledge and wisdom out there, and so they don't want to be left behind. So they're thinking, oh, maybe we should tell everyone to do this so that they can keep the control, because it's all about control. So I don't see a true heart here, but who knows? Who knows? The Father might change the heart of this institution later on. But right now, I don't see a true heart. Thank you.
Yeah, Pope Francis said the same thing, in 2018, that the Saturday Sabbath of the Jews was the true Sabbath, when those of us here have found that the Sabbath is actually on the original calendar that Israel had. It's still there up in the heavens. And, as far as, the Catholic Church changing everything, that's one of the reasons, they infiltrated all the churches. That's why they've changed over all these years. And that's why I came out of the church I did, because of the changes at the conference level. But I wanted to just say, about 30 years ago, I think it was, that the Catholic Church there where I'm from started having Saturday night services, and that was a big deal. People could go Saturday night if they couldn't come on Sunday. And so the Catholic Church has actually been opening up their doors on Saturday night for Saturday night worship now for several decades. So maybe they're going to start opening their doors for Saturday worship also. Okay, Amika, and then Sister M.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara, I have a question. I think it's very interesting just thinking about it, that I know that majority of the Jews don't believe in the Messiah has come yet, and that's and I find it interesting with everything aligning with now and happening. I wonder if this is also what usher in new Messiah, because aligning with the Catholic Church is one of the founding churches that set the ground of religion, right? And then what would be the best way to align with the ones that we all believe that God gave them, the law and everything, the standard of, following Yahweh. So aligning with that helps them to paint the picture that is one belief now. And who knows? Because I strongly believe that if the Jews, most of the Jews, Messianic Jews, believe in Yeshua, but majority of them do not believe in the Messiah, that he has not come. So I wonder if their belief about the Messiah will conquer and deliver, deliver them, and they believe the Messiah will come as a king, the Messiah will come as not as Yeshua came. And if you look at what is happening now in Gaza and everything else, war advancing, so I wonder why everything is aligning. Just me thinking out loud, if this will align and people will not have to believe that, maybe the Messiah we think about is not really is, and that's going to be a big movement, having the Catholic Church in support of that. So that's just a thought, because Yeshua again said that they would say that he is the Christ, right? So it's just interesting that they are pivoting towards this, and that's just my take on that.
Okay, yeah, he said in this video that the Saturday of the Jews was the true Sabbath. But yeah, so they are aligning with the Jews, yes, because don't forget, like you said, the Jews believe there is a Messiah yet to come. They don't believe in Yeshua, Jesus, as the Messiah. And all the Christians are looking for Jesus' second coming. And then all the Muslims are looking for their, I forgot what it's called, but they have their Messiah that's coming. So when the false Christ or the false Messiah appears, he's going to heal all the diseases. He's going to bring everybody all underneath one rulership and one government and one religion. And we don't know what's going to happen yet, but it is something that, yes, the Catholic Church is aligning with the Jews, saying they were originally given the Torah, which they were, but they have, of course, didn't believe in Yeshua as a Messiah, and they also changed their Sabbath. They followed the Roman, and it's a Roman church. We think about it as a Catholic church, but it's a Roman church. It started with Constantine, and he joined the Roman church with paganism. So they're still following a church of Rome. Okay, Sister M, go ahead.
Yeah, shalom, Sister M. I don't know what you guys think about this, but somehow in my Ruach, when I saw, I don't know if you saw the interview with CK and the wife, saying that they keep Sabbath on Saturday. And all I could think about was, yep, I think there's a bigger picture here and a big agenda. Why is there his big ministry called Turning Point? So I think that it is a setup for the false Sabbath. I think they're going to blow this up. I think this is all planned, and everybody, it just makes me wonder what the Adventists are thinking, because as a little girl, I always thought Sunday is the mark of the beast, is the false Sabbath. But I didn't know anything about the Creator's calendar and his original Sabbath. So this is very, very interesting that the Pope has said this. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Thank you, Sister M. Yes, my grandsons are saying, Charlie Kirk, he was a Sabbath keeper. He kept Saturday Sabbath, and they're all up in arms over it and everything, So, to put that forward and have him be a martyr or so-called martyr or whatever happened, for sure, we never know, all the false flags, like Ellie says, and where there is a lot of evidence out there. But yeah, to promote that as him keeping Saturday Sabbath. And that's after this happened, that the Pope came out with this, Pope Leo come out with this after that.
They're all in it together. They're all going to bring this together and promote this false Sabbath, I think. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree, totally agree. And also, we have done a lot of videos on this. Constantine changed the calendar, and Saturday has only been the 7th day of a Roman calendar since AD 321. And then we have this screen here showing Saturday is only the 7th day of the week by virtue of Emperor Constantine in 321 AD. He venerated the day of the sun, which moved Saturday from its coveted position as the first day of the week, and he put it at the end of the 7th, as the 7th day at the end of a week, so the Jews could have a 7th day Sabbath, because he persecuted them if they did anything worshiping on the lunar calendar or had their feasts on a lunar calendar. So there's a lot of history here about both of those counterfeit changes. Okay, go ahead, Brother Dwayne.
Yeah, hi, Barb. Yeah, say those comments from the Protestants and the Catholic Church about all of a sudden they're giving credibility for Saturday or Saturn's Day rest. All those arguments that they're making, I remember when I used to defend Saturday Sabbath to friends and people, you know, that I talked about with it, I said the exact same stuff. And then, of course, later on, I found out I was using the wrong calendar. But it's kind of interesting, and it's kind of, you know, I don't know what to call it. It just, to me, it's kind of weird, I guess. But anyway, I'm not really worried. I could care less whether they set up a one world, you know, they, meaning the powers that think they're the ones that be. I could care less what they do, because, you know, I know what the end result's going to be anyway. So you know, as far as I'm concerned, there's whatever I can do. But if I can't do nothing about it, big deal, because I know the end from what's going to be from reading the scriptures anyhow. So I'm not going to worry about it.
We read the end of the book, and we know how it ends. And he said, here are they that have the testimony of Yeshua and keep the commandments. And we know the calendar in the heavens is the original calendar, and this calendar we have now is a Roman Catholic calendar. It's from Rome with Constantine, and then the Julian calendar is Roman, of course, and then the Gregorian Pope Gregory calendar since 1582. So this is the calendar of Rome. It's not the calendar of our Heavenly Father. And so I think we're going to be hidden, you know. His people will be hidden. He said he would bring them into the wilderness. Could that be us being hidden in the wilderness? We'll see that calendar in the heavens, won't we? We won't need the Gregorian calendar, but it's interesting to think, you know, maybe this is a way that his people will be hidden. And so we will just see how it all plays out. Anybody else have a comment for today about the popes of Rome? Well, first it started out on a Roman Julian calendar where they took the new moon days out of the calendar. Then it went to Constantine, where he made a Saturn day, day 7, Sunday, day 1, and then it went to Pope Gregory the 13th, making a weekly calendar that the whole world follows now. So I guess people have to decide if they're going to follow a Roman calendar or the calendar of Israel, the calendar of creation, way back in the Garden of Eden, when we didn't have internet or books or anything else. And so this is a double deception by Rome. Go ahead, Sister M.
Yeah, and it's going to be pointing to the Jews, right? The Romans are Protestants and Catholics. They're going to say this is the Saturday of the Jews, the Sabbath of the Jews. And that's what CK said. I follow the Sabbath of the Jews on Saturday.
And I haven't really listened to all those interviews, so Sabbath of the Jews, which we just did a whole video on that last week with Doug Batchelor saying 15 million Jews can't be wrong. Saturday must be the Sabbath.
Right.
And so, right? And then it's historically documented that the Jews know it was originally on the lunar Sabbath, and the whole world had lunar calendars. So, yeah, it's really getting promoted right now in front of our very eyes. Rome is aligning with Jews. They have the Jewish people are all the religions are underneath Rome right now. So yes, they're aligning with them, and we will see what's going to be happening with worship. So yes, a double deception was crafted by Rome. First, that she had been bestowed with the power to change Yah's holy day from Saturday to Sunday. But the real deception lay in the fact that the entire calendar system is set up by Yah at creation, and it was beaconed by the new moon, and it has been replaced with a counterfeit. And now they're pushing forward the Jewish counterfeit, which is Saturday Sabbath, because Rome forced the Jews to use their Roman calendar, and they took away their lunar calendar. So I hope for more information about all those changes in the calendar that you'll go to our website, LunarSabbathDay.com. And thank you, everyone, for being here today.